What do you do when your spouse, who has always handled the money, the paperwork, and the big decisions, cannot safely do it anymore? Anne's husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's just 2 months ago. Now she's stepping into online banking for the first time, figuring out legal authority and staring down a likely move out of their large home, all while trying to honor his wish for privacy and keep day-to-day life steady. If you are a Christian wife starting to carry the household reins as your spouse's memory changes, this is one of those hard decisions moments where wise stewardship really matters. Hey, Christian Care Companion. Welcome back to Dementia Caregivers Support for Christians. I'm Lizette Cloete, and we talk here about the real caregiver burdens, the hard conversations, the difficult decisions, and all of the emotions that come with being a dementia caregiver, and how you can walk through them with biblical clarity and calm. In today's episode, you'll hear how Anne and I walk through a simple order of operations so she doesn't have to tackle everything at once. You'll learn the very first step to take, confirming healthcare and powers of attorney for both of you, and choosing a backup decision maker who is not your spouse. We'll talk about why it is wise to meet with an elder care attorney earlier on for Medicaid and asset protection, and we'll give you one key question to bring to that first visit. You'll hear how to begin thinking about banking and bills and possible downsizing in a way that protects your spouse's dignity and the home you've built together. And if you're ready, as you listen and you realize you would like steady assistance and guidance for your road ahead, you're invited to join the Christian Dignacare Society, the Foundation's community for Christian caregivers. It's only $97 until December the 31st for lifetime access. If you join after that next year, it will be a $97 per year membership. If you have valued the calm and practical support you've been receiving from this podcast, it is the next step in your stewardship of this journey. It is a space created specifically for you. You'll find the link in the show notes or go to thinkdifferentdementia.com/join. Okay, now let us step into Anne and my conversation about how to take the next faithful step when your spouse can no longer carry the legal and the financial load. Hello, Miss Anne. Nice to meet you.
Hi,
So
nice to meet you.
what's really funny is, some people move around on the screen, and then I saw them earlier, and then I'm like, where did they go? I know that they were
Oh,
here. So, Anne, have you listened to the
hello.
podcast before?
I listened to one. My
Okay.
daughter found you online and just sent this over and said, "Mom, you're never going to believe what I found." And it happened to happen right after a conversation we had about, and I told you this in the email, where she wanted to step down as my counselor sounding board. We have 4 kids. My husband has had Parkinson's for 3 years, and just now, I say just now, 2 months ago, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And
Okay.
so, the the first month of that, he didn't tell anybody, and
Okay.
I told a handful of people because I'm caregiving and it affects my life, but I wanted to honor his thoughts, and if he didn't want to tell anybody, then it's not up to me to, put an ad in the Houston Chronicle or whatever. So anyway, that was really difficult. And
Okay. Before
uh,
you continue,
uh-huh.
I'm going to take you through, thank you for the context though. I'm going to take you through a specific question and then
Okay.
I'll ask for some
Oh, okay.
clarification. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's helpful context, and it sounds like you and I have communicated in email or in some form or fashion. Um, Sometimes my brain is not fast enough on catching up with who people are. So let's just go through this process. I've already got a couple things going through my mind, but
Okay.
let me ask you the questions to make it easier for people who are listening. So, if caregiving felt easier 6 months from today, what would that look like for you?
For me, it would be learning more about how banking is done online, actually just accepting more responsibility of what inevitably will come my way. And, what was once a shared household of responsibilities, now I'm realizing it's going to be more my turn and to take this on or delegate to my kids if necessary. But it's new, it's just new. And the other thing is, we're going to need to move out of the big house to a smaller place. And moving is a big task, downsizing is a big task. So that's what I have on the horizon.
Okay. So, what do you think is standing in your way of achieving the goal of taking over the reins?
It's a big task, and I think I've just been hesitant to take it on.
Okay.
Just procrastination. I don't know.
I understand. So, it's really interesting you say procrastination because, in my experience, there are two kinds of procrastination. The procrastination because I don't know where to go next or what to do first, right? It's like looming. Like I don't know which one of these things to do first. It just feels overwhelming, right? Or there is the kind of procrastination. I'm dragging my feet because I don't want to do it. In your
Both.
Okay, I was just
Both.
gonna say, in your particular situation, do you have a sense of which one it might be?
um, I I don't know. All of it. It all seems so big
It
that
all
it's just
seems
easier
overwhelming
to just
to not do
tomorrow.
anything.
Tomorrow. We'll talk
I
about that tomorrow.
I understand. So would it be okay with you if I unpacked a little bit some of this?
Yes, of course. And I'll take notes.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're gonna take notes, but you will be able to listen to this on the podcast as well. But taking notes is definitely not a bad plan. So what I heard you saying is learning about the nuts and bolts of all of the stuff that he has been doing before, right?
Right.
That's the first one. And then the second one paraphrased using my frame is I don't know what the plan should be for our lives because we live in a big house and there's so many options and I don't know which one's going to be the best.
Right.
Okay. Was that an accurate summary?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So the first one, the very first thing that all of us need to do when we find out somebody we love is living with some form of dementia, cognitive impairment, etc.,
Right.
is we need to ensure that all of your legal documents are taken care of. That is the very, very first thing. Because based on what you've expressed, and I'm coloring in the lines, your husband is currently still at an ability level that he can he's still helping or he's doing some of these things. So that means he has the ability and the capacity. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Without trying to be personal, you look pretty young yet.
65?
Okay, you and your
Yeah.
husband are very young. Very young. Okay? If you were my mom, you're not old enough to be my mom. But if you were my mom, if you were my older sister, step by step, this is what I would be telling you to do. Number one, you need to ensure that your both you and your husband's healthcare power of attorney, durable power of attorney, and wills, all of those documents are completed.
Yes.
Number two, you need to ensure that he is not the decision maker for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Because now we are living with a person who is going to start to make unusual decisions,
Yes.
potentially over time. Number three, you mentioned a big house, which implies that asset protection and Medicaid planning might be something that you need to consider strongly. Okay? Medicaid planning is looking at all of your bigger picture finances, assets, and seeing how legally they can be structured so that you do not need to use up all of your assets if your husband lives long enough that he needs 24-hour care.
All right.
Okay? What you were looking for is an attorney who specializes in elder care law and Medicaid planning. Every state has separate Medicaid, which means every state's laws related to Medicaid is different. But every state has what they call a 5-year look back period. At
All right.
65, I would do it as quickly as I can
Thank you. Okay.
because your husband is likely close to your age and 3 years with Parkinson's and only 2 months or so with an Alzheimer's diagnosis or a mixed dementia diagnosis. If he lives long enough with this process, and this is one of the things that I hate the most about the healthcare system, is the healthcare system does not tell you definitively. You'll ask, will he need 24-hour care? And they'll say maybe.
Yeah.
Well, why do they say maybe? Because maybe he dies before he gets there. Not because if he lives long enough, he's going to need 24-hour care. So if we know that to be true, if you and I sitting here today know if your husband lives long enough, he will need 24-hour care.
Yes.
How do I protect you, Anne, so that you don't have to sell everything you own? You don't have to go live under a bridge after he passes away because you've used up everything to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting with an elder care attorney, investing, it's going to be an investment, investing the resources, the financial resources into doing this well at the beginning means at the end, if he needs 24-hour care, you have opened up avenues for other payment sources other than selling everything you own in order to pay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? So I know this didn't really answer the specific question about the day-to-day finances and things like that.
No, this is very important. I
But
hadn't thought about it.
from the
Mhm.
outside looking in, that is the priority before we even get to
Yes.
the other stuff. We can carve out the other stuff, we can get to the other stuff,
Yes.
but the bigger part of the equation is protecting your assets for Medicaid planning. And an attorney, a good attorney, is well worth their money, their weight in gold
All right.
in this specific situation. So,
Thank you.
based on our conversation today, what is one thing that you can do? What's your action step that you're going to take?
I'm gonna check this out, and I've never even heard of an elder care. I mean, I guess I should have heard of it, but I didn't know there was such a specialty of attorneys.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'll look it up. Thank you.
Elder care attorney that specializes in Medicaid planning.
Okay, thank you.
They're even a little more specialized because some elder care attorneys or some people who call them themselves elder care attorneys specialize in younger adults who are planning ahead that aren't facing what you're facing already. You are at the cusp of the decisions you make now have to be asset protection. How do we protect what you guys have worked so hard for so that you don't have to sell everything you own in order to get help in the future?
Yes,
No, I don't want your husband living in a Medicaid facility, but I also don't want you selling everything you have in order to provide everything. So if we can find, that's why an elder care attorney that can look at asset protection will be helpful in your situation.
yes.
Is because you can protect it with a trust, you can protect it with various different mechanisms. Okay?
All right.
If you need
Thank you for your time.
You are very welcome. If you need more help with that, please just reach back out and let me know what I can do to help you.
Okay. God bless. Thanks.